Hello, it's Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest video. I am using a plain Traveller's Notebook size insert inside this vintage-like cover, both from Start Bay Notebooks. I'm going to start off by adding some washi tape from London Gifties, and all of the washi tape that I use during this video all come from Christine's lovely shop. I've decided that I want to go with a mainly green and pink style theme for these journal pages. The next thing I'm doing is using this classic-y tag, and I'm adding some writing on the back. I'm using a TWSBI 580 AL fountain pen, and I'm then going to cut out some leaves from this washi tape and use it for extra decoration. Once I've trimmed off their edges and I'm happy with how it's looking, I'll use some other strips of washi tape to secure it to my page. I don't tend to do much planning of my journal pages in advance, but I do really like picking a colour theme because I find it so much easier then to look through my stash and decide what I want to include. So the next thing I'm doing is gluing down these really pretty pink pressed flowers. I'm now going to create a wax seal. So I'm using this Herbin stick of wax, and I'm using a slice craft knife to cut it into small pieces. And I really like this knife. It's got a ceramic blade and it cuts through things really easily, but doesn't seem to cause any injuries to fingers, which is an absolute bonus. So I'm now adding the little pieces of wax into this melting spoon, and I'm going to hold it over a tea light candle. And this takes a little while to do, but I just find it such a relaxing part of the process and adds a really lovely touch to your journaling pages. I'm now going to gently pour the hot wax over the stem of the flower, and I'll be using a new wax seal that I recently received from London Gifties. And to make the design stand out a little bit more, I'm using this Pilot Pintor paint pen in a silver colour right over the top. Next, I'm going to add the date to the top of my pages, and I'm then going to letter in a quote. And I'm using this beautiful pinky coloured ink, and I'll be using a dip pen. And I'll make sure that everything I'm using in this video is linked down below. The quote that I decided to add says, "Miracles are natural. When they do not appear, something has gone wrong," by Gabrielle Bernstein. And I've recently been listening to some of Gabrielle's podcasts, and I'm also reading her new book, The Super Attractor. And I love the whole ethos behind it, that actually not everything in life should be a struggle. Yes, of course, there are things that we need to work really hard towards, but actually when we're really focused on doing the right things, then the opportunities should be coming our way and things should start to flow a little bit more naturally. And that's something that I really want to think about and focus on more over the coming months and definitely into 2020. Now that I'm finished with the quote, I'm going to add some extra decoration to my pages, and I decided to cut out this beautiful pink flower from this washi tape. And I thought it tied in really nicely with the look of my pages and brought in some extra pink. And the next thing I'm going to do is use some wooden block stamps with trees on them, and I really love the simplicity of the designs on these. I'm going to use 2 different ink pads in a light and a dark green. And the ink pads and the stamps are both from London Gifties. I like to have lots of space to add my journal writing on my pages, but I also really enjoy the process of adding all of the different creative elements. I find it really relaxing, and whilst I'm adding all of the little pieces of washi tape and stamps, I'm thinking about what I want to write about on my pages. The final decoration that I'm adding is a really simple collage, so I'm looking through these vintage papers to decide what I want to use. And I pick that leaf photo plus a book page and a plain piece of paper. And as always, for some reason I don't like the straight edges of the paper, so I'm tearing around the designs and it gives it that really lovely rough kind of look. Once I'm happy with the papers that I've chosen, I will use some Pritt Stick to glue them down onto my pages, and I'm going to add them so they're just peeping out from behind that tag. I had so much fun creating these pages, and I'm really happy with how they're looking. So the final thing I'm going to do is move on to adding my journal writing, and I rest some papers over that pressed flower to make sure that I don't rub any of the petals away. In my journal writing, I'm reflecting on the quote and also about what I've been reading in the Super Attractor book. And I really like to use my journal for this, as it's a lovely reminder to me when I look back through the pages of what I was reading and what it meant to me at the time. I'd love to know what types of things you write about in your journal, so please do let me know in the comments down below. Okay, that's my pages now finished. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, it would be great if you'd leave it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. If you've got any questions or comments, then please do leave them down below. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you really soon in the next one.